The conference room was filled with that fake kind of excitement that smells like expensive perfume and hidden jealousy. My heart was pounding, but I still forced a smile. Today was supposed to be my day. Dad stood at the podium, straightening his tie. "Carter Innovations is entering a new era," he began. And I couldn't be prouder of what our family has built together. My palms were sweaty. I looked at Mom. She nodded at me, that silent signal we'd shared since I was a kid. "You've got this." Then Dad said, "Starting today, our new chief executive officer will be Ryan Carter." For a moment, everything went silent. My brain couldn't process it. I blinked. "Ryan?" Applause exploded around me. My coworkers cheered. Someone even whistled. I just stood there frozen. Ryan grinned, pretending to act surprised. "Wow, Dad, I don't know what to say." I felt my stomach twist. He knew. He'd known all along. Mom clapped the loudest. "You deserve it, sweetheart," she said, hugging him. I swallowed hard. My voice barely came out. "Dad, is this a joke?" He looked at me like I'd said something stupid. "A joke? Lena, you've done great work, but Ryan's leadership qualities are unmatched. This is what's best for the company." "Unmatched?" I repeated, my throat tightening. "I've been running operations for 3 years. I brought in the Keller contract myself." Ryan laughed awkwardly. "We're a team, Lena. You didn't do it alone." My hands curled into fists. "I negotiated every line of that deal. You weren't even in the meeting." Dad sighed. "This isn't the time to argue. We'll discuss your role later." My role. Like I was just an assistant. Mom placed a hand on my shoulder. "Sweetheart, don't ruin this moment for your brother." "Ruin it?" I said, my voice cracking. "You mean the moment where you all pretend this company doesn't exist because of me?" The applause was dying down. Everyone was watching. I could feel their eyes on me. Pity, confusion, curiosity. Ryan stepped closer. "Lena, please. You're embarrassing yourself." I looked at him. His smile didn't reach his eyes. "I'm embarrassing myself? You've been stealing credit for years." "Guess it finally paid off." He flinched. "That's not fair. Neither is this." Dad cleared his throat. "Enough, both of you. Ryan, say a few words to the team." I laughed, bitter and soft. "Of course. Let the new king speak." Ryan tried to sound humble. "I just want to say how honored I am. Lena's been my biggest inspiration." "Don't!" I snapped. The room went silent again. "Don't you dare use me in your little speech," Mom gasped. "Lena," I turned to her. "You always said hard work pays off. Guess that only applies if you're born with the right last name," she whispered. "You both have the same last name. Do we?" I whispered back. "Because it sure doesn't feel like it." Ryan's smile was fading now. "I didn't ask for this, Lena." "Yes, you did," I said quietly. "You wanted this more than anything. You just didn't care what it cost me." Dad's voice was sharp. "Enough. If you can't be professional, you can leave." "I think I already did," I said, stepping back. My chair scraped the floor. "Congratulations, Ryan. Enjoy your throne." I turned toward the door. No one stopped me. No one even called my name. Outside, the hallway was cold and too bright. My reflection in the glass looked like a stranger. Pale, hollow, broken. This is it, I thought. This is how it feels to be erased. I could still hear the clapping behind the closed door. Ryan's voice echoed faintly through the wall, thanking everyone, pretending to be humble. I walked toward the elevator, heels clicking too loud on the marble floor. Each step felt heavier than the last. When the doors closed, I finally exhaled. My chest hurt. My eyes burned. "I built that company," I whispered. "And they just handed it to him." The elevator dinged. I looked up at my reflection again, eyes red, lipstick smudged. "Fine," I said to the mirror. "If they want him, they can have him." The doors opened to the lobby. My phone buzzed with a message from Maya. "Congrats to Ryan." "I'm so sorry," I typed back, "don't be. This story isn't over." And for the first time, I meant it. I slammed my office door shut and leaned against it, breathing hard. The applause from the announcement still echoed in my head like a curse. I laughed once, sharp, broken, ugly. "Congratulations, Lena," I whispered to myself. "You've officially been replaced." My reflection in the glass cabinet smiled back like it pitied me. My hands trembled. I had given everything, and for what? The door burst open. Ryan didn't even knock. What the hell was that downstairs? I didn't move. "You tell me. You were the star of the show?" He shut the door behind him, lowering his voice. You made a scene, Lena. Dad's furious. I turned slowly. And you're what, his messenger now? I'm trying to keep things civil. Civil? I laughed. You stole my position, my project, and my future. That's not civil, Ryan. That's betrayal. He ran a hand through his hair. This isn't personal. Don't you dare say that, I snapped. It's always been personal. Every meeting you hijacked, every client you charmed after I did the work, personal. Lena, you're overreacting. Overreacting? I stepped closer until I could see his guilt written all over his face. You knew they were going to name you CEO, didn't you? He hesitated. Dad mentioned it. I didn't think it was final. I smiled bitterly. You didn't stop him either. He exhaled. Look, you're great at what you do, but you're too intense sometimes. Dad thinks you push people too hard. Too intense? My voice shook. You mean I actually care? Don't twist my words. No, you twisted mine. For years, he sighed, rubbing his temples. You can still have your position. You'll report directly to me. I stared at him. Report to you? It's not an insult, Lena. It's structure. I laughed again, louder this time. Structure? You mean control? You always needed to feel like you were above me. Well, congratulations. Now you are. Lena, get out. He frowned. Don't do this. Get out. Ryan hesitated for a second, then left, muttering something under his breath. The door clicked shut, and silence filled the room. I sank into my chair, pressing my palms against my eyes. My head was pounding. I wanted to cry, but the tears refused to fall. My phone buzzed. Mom. I answered without thinking. What? Her voice was tight. Lena, you can't speak to your brother like that. Like what? Like an enemy. Your family, am I said. Because it sure feels like I'm just the help. Don't be dramatic, she sighed. This decision was about leadership, not love. Leadership, I repeated, tasting the word like poison. Right, the kind that takes credit for other people's work. Your father believes in Ryan's vision. You should too. My father believes in what he wants to see, a son, not a daughter. Lena. She snapped. That's unfair. No, I whispered. It's the truth. She was silent for a moment. You're too emotional, sweetheart. That's your problem. My throat tightened. That's exactly what Dad said, isn't it? She didn't answer. I smiled to myself even though it hurt. I spent 10 years making him proud. I guess I failed. Don't say that, she said softly. You'll understand when you calm down. I'm calm, I said quietly. I've never been clearer in my life. Lena. I hung up. The silence that followed was heavier than before. My heart felt hollow, but my mind was sharp. For the first time, everything made sense. I stood and looked around my office. The photos, the awards, the files I'd organized perfectly. It wasn't mine anymore. It never was. The door opened again. Dad this time. His face was stone. What's this I hear about you walking out of the meeting? I didn't walk out, I said. I left. You embarrassed this family? No, I said, standing straight. You embarrassed me. He crossed his arms. I gave you everything. You gave Ryan everything, I said. You gave me scraps, he shook his head. This attitude is why you're not ready to lead. You let emotions rule you. Maybe, I said softly, but at least I have them. He stared at me, waiting for me to apologize. I didn't. Finally, he said, You'll regret this. I already do, I whispered. When he left, I opened my laptop, typed a resignation letter, and hit send. No dramatic words. No goodbye speech. Just silence, because sometimes silence is louder than screaming, and mine had just begun. I stared at the empty box on my desk, unsure where to start. The office smelled like coffee and endings. My nameplate looked smaller than usual, pathetic almost. Maya stood by the door, arms crossed, eyes red. You're really doing this? Yes. I wrapped the framed photo of our first project in paper. It's done. You can't just leave, Lena. This is your company. Correction, I said quietly. It was. She stepped closer. Ryan can't replace you. Everyone knows you run this place. Everyone but the people who matter. I shoved files into the box without looking at them. You worked your whole life for this. Exactly why I'm leaving. I don't want to spend another year proving my worth to people who decided I don't have any. Maya's voice broke. Then let me come with you. I looked up. Don't be stupid. You have bills, stay. I don't care about bills. I do, I said. Because I know what it feels like to have nothing. She blinked fast, trying not to cry. You don't deserve this. No one ever does, I said. That's why it hurts. The door opened without a knock. Ryan again. Of course, packing already? He said with a smirk. I didn't answer. You could have waited until after lunch, he added. It looks dramatic. Then it fits, I said. He leaned against the wall. Look, I didn't mean for things to turn out this way. Really? I said. Because it looks like you're enjoying it. He glanced at Maya. Can we have a minute? No, I said. Whatever you have to say, she can hear. He sighed. Dad wanted me to ask if you'll finish the Keller handover before you go. It's important. The Keller handover? I repeated slowly. You mean my contract? Ryan shifted. It's the company's contract. I negotiated it for 8 months, and now I'm maintaining it. I laughed under my breath. Maintaining? You mean stealing credit again? He frowned. You're being unfair. You're leaving, Lena. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Harder? I snapped. You took everything I built and acted like it was yours. I'm the reason that $850K deal exists. Without me, Keller wouldn't have even answered your calls. He looked annoyed now. It's business. Don't take it personally. I stepped forward, close enough to smell his cologne. You always hide behind that word, business. What you mean is cowardice, Maya muttered. You should go, Ryan. He straightened. Enjoy your little dramatic exit, Lena. Just remember, the company will move on without you. I'm counting on it, I said. He left, slamming the door a little too hard. Maya whispered, He's scared. Good, I said. He should be. I taped the box shut, grabbed my coat, and looked around one last time. My chair was still turned toward the window, like it expected me to sit back down. I didn't. When I reached the lobby, the receptionist smiled nervously. You're leaving? Apparently, I said. Outside, the sun was blinding. Ryan's shiny black car sat neatly in my old parking spot, the one I'd fought years to earn. A new nameplate was already on the space, CEO reserved, Ryan Carter. I almost laughed. Of course he didn't waste time. Maya followed me out. So what now? Now? I looked at the sky. I disappear. You don't mean that. I do, I said. But not forever, she frowned. You're planning something. Planning? I smiled faintly. No, waiting. Waiting for what? For the fall, I said. Maya's eyes widened. You're serious. Dead serious, I whispered. You can't teach people like them with words. They only learn through loss. The glass doors behind us opened. Ryan's voice again, loud and proud. Yeah, Keller loves the proposal. Said I nailed the negotiation. I froze. Maya glanced at me. Did he just take credit? I finished. Yes, he laughed with one of the managers. It's all about confidence. Clients love confidence. I felt heat rush through me, but I stayed still. Maya whispered, Say something. No, I said softly. Let him dig his grave. Ryan walked past without noticing us, bragging about meetings I'd scheduled, words I'd written, numbers I'd balanced. I watched him go, every step feeding a quiet, dangerous calm inside me. Maya touched my arm. You're shaking. I'm not angry, I said. Not anymore. Then what are you? Awake, she stared at me. That sounds worse. Maybe, I said. But it's honest. I lifted the box, nodded once, and walked away from the building. From them, from everything I'd built. The sun was warm on my face, but it didn't feel like light. It felt like fire, and I didn't look back. The city looked different without a title under my name. Streets I'd driven for years suddenly felt unfamiliar, like I was walking through someone else's story. I sat in a cafe, laptop open, fingers hovering above a blank resume. The cursor blinked like it was mocking me. Previous employer? I muttered. Oh, just the family that replaced me. The barista handed me a coffee. Rough day? Rough decade, I said, taking a sip. 3 interviews later, I realized the same thing. Everyone saw me as Carter Corp's ex. Your experience is impressive, one recruiter said, smiling politely. But your last name might complicate things. I laughed under my breath. You mean they'll think I'm still loyal to them? He shrugged. Something like that. By the end of the week, rejection emails stacked up like bad memories. I almost stopped checking. Then one subject line caught my eye. Interview invitation. Vanguard Consulting. The office was smaller than I expected. Modern but warm. No gold plaques, no fake smiles. Just quiet energy. At the reception, a woman smiled. Mr. Reyes will see you now. I walked in. A man looked up from his laptop. Late 30s, sharp eyes, sleeves rolled to his elbows. Noah Reyes, he said, standing to shake my hand. You're Lena Carter. Yes, I said cautiously. Is that a problem? Depends, he said, smiling faintly. Are you still loyal to Carter Corp? Not even to their coffee machine. He laughed, motioning to the chair. Good. Sit. I sat, half ready for another polite rejection. So, he said, scanning my resume, you handled operations, led multiple contracts, and brought in the Keller deal? That's correct. That deal was famous, he said. And then it vanished from the news. What happened? I hesitated. Let's just say credit wasn't evenly distributed. He leaned back. Politics, my favorite poison. I smiled despite myself. Mine too. I've overdosed. He laughed softly. I like honesty. Most people try to hide the blood under their sleeves. I stopped pretending it's not there, I said. He studied me for a moment, then nodded. You're hired, I blinked. Just like that? Just like that. I trust instincts more than references. I stared at him. You don't even want to call my— No, he interrupted gently. I don't care what your family says about you. I care what you can do. Something in me cracked a little, not from pain, but from relief. When do I start? I asked. Now, he said. Grab coffee, pick a desk, and try not to hate the chaos. The first few days felt strange. No boardrooms, no silent judgment. Just work, laughter, and people who actually listened. On my third day, Noah stopped by my desk. You've been here 72 hours and already fixed our vendor process. Should I be worried? I looked up from my laptop. Only if you plan on firing me for competence, he chuckled. Tempting. But no. Then don't worry. He leaned against my desk. You don't miss Carter Corp, do you? Miss? I said, shaking my head. That place drained the air out of me. Here I can breathe. That's the goal, he said softly. People do better when they can breathe. I studied him. You actually mean that, don't you? Crazy, I know, he said with a grin. I like people who want to build, not just control. Then you're already better than most CEOs I've met. He raised an eyebrow. Flattery, Miss Carter? Observation, I said. He smiled and walked away. For the first time in weeks, I caught myself smiling back. By Friday, the office felt less like a job and more like recovery. Maya texted me photos from Carter Corp, Ryan posing in front of a new company banner. I didn't reply. Noah noticed my silence. Bad news? Old news, I said. Very old, he nodded. Then stop reading it. I met his gaze. You make that sound easy. It is, he said. You just have to choose yourself first. That sentence lingered long after he left. Choose yourself first. I'd never done that. As the office lights dimmed, I stared out at the city. Same skyline, but it didn't feel cold anymore. Freedom wasn't loud. It was quiet, steady, patient. For the first time, I didn't feel like I'd lost everything. I felt like I was finally starting over, and this time I'd do it my way. It started with a rumor. Maya texted me one morning. Keller Industries is furious. Something about missed deadlines. I stared at the message, sipping my coffee. Already? I whispered. Didn't take long. At work, Noah was standing by the whiteboard, marker in hand. Morning, boss, he said. Ready to save another company from self-destruction? Always, I said, dropping my bag. He grinned. Good, because I've got something big for you. What kind of big? The kind that could make or break us. I raised an eyebrow. That's my favorite kind, he laughed. Our new client wants a full restructuring plan within 2 weeks. You'll lead the team. Me? Yes, you. Don't look so surprised. I'm not, I said, hiding a small smile. Just making sure you're serious. Dead serious, he said. You've got the best mind for this. I nodded. Then let's get to work. Days passed in a blur of late nights and caffeine. The team worked hard, but Noah and I barely slept. I forgot how good it felt to lead without fear, to be trusted. One evening, I was sketching numbers on the whiteboard when Noah appeared with 2 cups of coffee. "You're terrifying when you're focused," he said. "Good," I said. "Fear keeps people efficient," he smiled. "Noted, but maybe breathe? You've been at this for 10 hours. I've done worse." He leaned on the desk. "You know, I didn't hire you out of pity." "I know. I hired you because you see things others miss. You notice the cracks before they break." I looked up. "Cracks?" he nodded. "In systems. In people. I thought of my family. Yeah, I've seen a few of those." The next morning, I got another message from Maya. "He's panicking. Keller's threatening to cancel." My chest tightened. "He? Ryan, of course." During lunch, I called her. "Tell me everything," she whispered. "He missed a major deliverable. Mr. Keller's furious. He said if Ryan doesn't fix it by next week, the contract's gone." $850K gone, I said quietly. "Exactly. And your father's losing it." I smiled faintly. "Good. Lena, I'm not celebrating," I interrupted. "I'm just not sorry," she sighed. "You sound different." "I am." That evening, Noah noticed my distraction. "Something on your mind?" "Just ghosts," I said. "Friendly or haunting?" "Both," he tilted his head. "Tell me about them," I hesitated. "Let's just say I built something once. Someone else broke it," he nodded slowly. "And now? Now I'm watching it collapse. And I don't feel guilty," he smiled faintly. "Sounds like justice." "Maybe," I said. "Or karma finally remembering my name." He chuckled. "Whatever it is, use it. Turn it into fuel. I already am." 2 days later, our project presentation came. I walked into the boardroom with a calm I hadn't felt in years. Noah introduced me, then stepped aside. I led the meeting, firm voice, steady hands. Every slide hit perfectly. The clients nodded, took notes, smiled. When it ended, they stood and applauded. Noah leaned over and whispered, "You just made us a fortune." I smiled. "Told you I was worth hiring." "Worth keeping," he said. When the clients left, he clapped his hands. "You're something else, Lena. Something good, I hope. The best kind." Later that night, I walked home through the quiet streets. My phone buzzed again, another message from Maya. "Ryan lost Keller." "It's over." I stopped walking. The cold air stung my face, but inside I felt nothing but warmth. "Of course he did," I whispered. I called her. "How bad?" "Really bad. Keller pulled the deal and partnered with another firm. Your dad's furious, Ryan's in denial, and your mom's pretending it'll be fine." "Classic," I said softly. "Who got the contract?" "Not sure. Some firm called Vanguard Consulting." I laughed quietly. "Interesting. Wait, I'll explain later," I said. "Just take care of yourself, okay?" "Lena, are you happy?" I looked up at the night sky. I'm getting there. After we hung up, I stood under a streetlight, the city humming around me. Once I'd thought power came from titles, offices, and last names. But real power was this, walking away and watching everything you outgrew collapse without you. Karma didn't always knock loudly. Sometimes it just whispered, "You were right," and for the first time, I believed it. My phone rang just after sunrise. Unknown number. I almost ignored it until I recognized the voice. "Lena," my father said. I froze. "Wow, didn't expect this number to work for you anymore?" "Please," he said. His tone wasn't sharp this time. It was tired, uncertain. "We need to talk." I leaned back in my chair. "We?" "Yes, the company's in trouble." "Which company?" I asked. "You mean your company?" "The one I was too emotional to lead?" He sighed. "Lena, don't start." "I'm not starting, Dad. You did that months ago." "Listen," he said quietly. "The Keller contract, what about it?" I said, already knowing. "It's falling apart. They're threatening to cancel. I need your help to fix this." I laughed softly. "Let me guess. Ryan dropped the ball." "This isn't about blame." "Oh, it is," I said. "You just don't like the scoreboard." "Lena," he said, voice cracking a little. "I know you're angry, but this is bigger than us." "Funny," I said. "It was smaller than me when you gave my job away." He went silent. I could almost hear his pride swallowing itself. "I'll pay you," he said finally. "Consulting fee. Whatever you want. I don't want your money. Then what do you want?" I paused. An apology that doesn't sound like a business transaction. He hesitated. "I'm sorry for how things ended." "Ended?" I said. "They didn't end, Dad. You buried me alive." His voice softened. "Lena, please. I'm asking for help, not forgiveness." "That's good," I said, "because I don't have forgiveness left to give." He sighed again. "Can we meet? Just once. I'll explain everything." "Why? So you can practice being humble in front of an audience?" "Lena." I looked out the window. The city was waking up, loud, alive, and different. "Fine," I said. "One meeting." He exhaled, relieved. "Thank you." "Don't thank me," I said. "You might regret asking." After I hung up, Noah noticed my expression as he walked into the office. "You look like someone just offered you a deal with the devil." "Close," I said. "My father called." He raised an eyebrow. "That's new?" "He wants help saving Carter Corp." Noah chuckled. "Of course he does. Karma's got good timing. He offered me money. Did you take it?" "No." He leaned against my desk. "So why meet him?" "I need to say something I never did before." "Closure?" "Maybe," I smiled faintly. "Or maybe just punctuation." Noah studied me for a moment. "You sure you're ready for that?" "I've been ready since the day they replaced me," he nodded. "Then go remind them who you are." "I don't need to remind them," I said. "I just want to watch them realize it." Later that evening, I stood outside Carter Corp's glass doors again. Same logo, same lobby, same hollow feeling. Only this time, I wasn't the one begging. The receptionist blinked when she saw me. "Miss Carter?" "Don't worry," I said. "I'm not here for an interview." In the conference room, Dad was waiting. Older, smaller somehow. Mom sat beside him, pretending not to look nervous. Ryan stared at the table like it could save him. I didn't sit. "You wanted a meeting. Talk." Dad cleared his throat. "We've lost Keller. But they're still open to negotiation if someone they trust steps in. That someone is you." "Trust?" I said. "That's a funny word coming from this table." Mom spoke softly. "Lena, please. We need you." "Need," I repeated. "When I needed you, I got silence. Now you need me, and suddenly I'm family again." Ryan muttered. "This isn't about family, it's about business." "Exactly," I said. "And business is about competence. You remember what that looks like, right?" He glared. "You think you're better than us now?" "No," I said. "I've always been better. You're just late to the realization." Dad tried to cut in. "Lena," I held up a hand. "Save it. I'm not coming back. I'm not saving your deal. I'm not fixing your mistakes. You made your choices and now live with them." Mom's voice shook. "We're sorry." I smiled, but it didn't reach my eyes. "You're not sorry. You're scared." Dad looked defeated. "Then there's nothing more to say?" "Oh, there's one thing," I said. "You might want to check who Keller signed with this week." Ryan frowned. "What are you talking about?" I leaned closer, lowering my voice. "Vanguard Consulting. My firm." Their faces froze. Silence stretched, heavy and delicious. Then I turned toward the door. "You wanted my help, Dad. You just didn't realize you'd have to ask for it from across the table." And as I walked out, I didn't look back. Not this time. Walking through the glass doors of Carter Corp felt like stepping into a ghost story. Mine. Same walls, same marble floors, but they didn't belong to me anymore. I wasn't the girl who used to chase approval here. I was the woman they'd underestimated. The receptionist blinked when she saw me. "Miss Carter?" It's fine," I said. "They're expecting me." The elevator ride was silent except for the sound of my own heartbeat. I caught my reflection in the mirrored doors, calm, steady, almost cold. When I reached the top floor, the conference room door was open. I could hear their voices before I stepped inside. Ryan sounded frustrated. "We can't afford another delay. Keller's pulling out." "Keep your voice down," my father snapped. "We'll handle it." "You said that last week," Ryan muttered. I pushed the door open. "Still handling it, are we?" 3 heads turned. Mom's hand flew to her chest. "Lena," Ryan's jaw tightened. "You came." Dad stood, his expression unreadable. "Thank you for coming, Lena." "Don't thank me yet," I said, closing the door. "You might not like what I have to say." The silence stretched. I could feel the tension in the air, heavy, desperate. Dad gestured toward the chair. Please sit. I stayed standing. No, I'll keep this short. Mom gave me that soft, pleading look I used to fall for. We made mistakes. We should have treated you better. Should have, I said. That word always comes after the damage. Ryan crossed his arms. Look, we don't need to fight. Just help us fix this. Help you? I raised an eyebrow. You mean save you again, he bristled. You don't have to be cruel. I'm not being cruel, I said calmly. I'm being honest, Dad cleared his throat. Lena, this company, our family, has been through enough. Let's start over. Start over? I repeated. You already wrote the ending without me. Mom's voice trembled. Please, we're trying to make it right. No, I said. You're trying to make it convenient. Ryan slammed his palm on the table. You think you're better than us now because of that tiny consulting firm? I looked at him steady. No, I know I'm better because I don't need to tear someone else down to feel tall, he scoffed. You think you're so righteous? I don't think, I cut in. I know who I am now. That's the difference between us. He leaned forward. You're still bitter. Admit it, I smiled faintly. No, Ryan, I'm healed. That's why I can stand here without shaking. Dad's tone softened. Lena, we're offering you a chance to come back. Co-CEO, equal partnership. I laughed, quiet, almost pitying. You're offering me equality now? After proving I never had it? It's business, he said, sounding tired. You understand that? I understand greed disguised as logic, I said. You didn't want a leader. You wanted obedience? Mom reached across the table. Honey, please don't do this. I looked at her hand but didn't take it. You taught me loyalty. You just forgot to teach it to yourself. Her eyes welled up. I never meant to hurt you. Maybe not, I said softly. But you did anyway, Ryan muttered. You're enjoying this, aren't you? I met his gaze. No, this isn't joy. It's closure. He looked away, voice breaking. I tried my best, okay? Dad pushed me into it. Dad's face darkened. Don't blame me for your incompetence. There it is, I said. The Carter family's favorite sport. Passing the blame. Mom whispered, Please stop. I shook my head. No, I'm done stopping for you. Dad's patience snapped. Then why are you here, Lena? If not to help? I took a deep breath. To tell you the truth. When last time? They waited, silent. The Keller contract is gone, I said. You lost it. Dad's jaw tightened. We know, I leaned forward. Do you know who they signed with? Ryan frowned. Some no-name firm, right? I smiled. Vanguard Consulting. The silence that followed was delicious. I could almost hear the walls exhale. Dad's face drained of color. Me, I said. My team, my rules. My company, Mom covered her mouth. Oh my God, Ryan whispered. You stole our client? No, I said. You lost them. I just caught what you dropped. Dad stepped closer. You could have told us. Why, I said. You never listened before, he sighed heavily. You've made your point. No, I said. I've made my peace. Ryan's voice trembled. You won't help us at all? I already did, I said. By leaving. That was the best help I could have given you. Mom was crying now. We just wanted to fix things. I looked at her for a long moment. You can't fix people by needing them only when you're desperate. Dad turned away, muttering, This is your revenge, then. No, I said quietly. This is your lesson. I started toward the door. Ryan's voice cracked behind me. Lena, wait. I stopped but didn't turn. You made your choice. Now live with it. The door closed behind me with a soft click. For the first time, it didn't sound like an ending. It sounded like freedom. The first headline hit before noon. Carter Corp loses major contract. Internal turmoil suspected. By evening, the story was everywhere. I didn't have to search for it. It found me. Noah leaned over my desk, reading the article on my screen. They're finished, he said. I sipped my coffee. They'll deny it for a few days. Then they'll panic, he studied me. You sound calm. I am. Not even a little satisfaction. I looked at the screen, Ryan's photo beside the headline, looking pale and desperate. Satisfaction isn't the word. Relief, maybe. Noah nodded slowly. You earned that. I didn't earn their fall, I said. They built it themselves. He leaned back in the chair opposite me. Still poetic timing. You get Keller. They lose Keller. Balance restored. I smiled faintly. Karma doesn't need my help. It just needed time. My phone buzzed with messages, Maya, journalists, old colleagues. I ignored them all until one caught my eye. From Maya, Ryan resigned. It's bad, Lena. I stared at the text, reading it twice. Noah noticed. Bad news? Expected news, I said. Ryan's out, he whistled softly. That fast? Investors hate chaos, I said. And he's chaos in a suit. Noah gave me a curious look. You don't sound angry anymore. I'm not, I said. That's the strange part. For years I thought I wanted revenge. Turns out I just wanted peace. He folded his arms. Peace looks good on you, I laughed quietly. Careful, Noah, that almost sounded like flirting. Almost? He said with a grin. Let's not ruin my moment of zen, he chuckled. Fine, then let me say this as your boss. I'm proud of you. Proud? Yes, you came here broken. Now look at you. I'm just standing, I said. Exactly. That's harder than people think, I didn't reply. The quiet between us felt easy, natural, something I wasn't used to. The next morning, the news got worse for them. Carter Corp faces investor exodus. CEO Ryan Carter resigns after contract scandal. Board members consider liquidation. Each headline felt distant, like I was reading about strangers. Noah walked in holding 2 coffees. They're trending again. Let me guess, not for innovation. He handed me a cup. You sure you're okay? I'm fine, I said. Actually, I'm lighter, he smiled. Then maybe it's time to celebrate. Celebrate what? Their destruction? Your freedom, he said simply. I looked at him. You really believe in silver linings, don't you? I believe in people who earn them. I leaned back. You're impossible. Only on weekdays, I smiled. Good thing today's Thursday, he grinned. Then I'm officially impossible. We laughed, and for the first time, it didn't feel forced. By evening, more messages came. One from Mom, just 2 words. We're sorry. I didn't reply. Not because I hated them, but because I didn't have anything left to say. Some conversations die in silence. Later, Maya called. You saw the news? I did. They're finished, Lena. It's ugly. I know. Are you okay? I'm okay, I said. Better than I thought I'd be. She hesitated. You're not happy? I'm not sad either, I said. I think that's progress. Ryan's gone, she added. Your dad's talking about selling. Your mom hasn't left the house. I'm sorry it came to that, I said softly. Are you? Yes, but sorry doesn't mean regret, Maya sighed. You really changed. I had to, I said. Otherwise, I'd still be standing in that conference room, waiting for their approval. After we hung up, I sat on the balcony outside my apartment. The city lights blinked like quiet applause. Noah texted, You did good today. I replied, It's not victory. It's closure. He sent back a simple thumbs up. I smiled, set my phone aside, and leaned back in the chair. The wind was cool, soft against my skin. The noise of the city faded until all I could hear was my own breathing. For the first time in years, I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel small, I just felt done, and that was enough. The rain started before sunrise. Soft, patient, steady. I sat by the window with my laptop closed, a blank notebook in front of me. The idea came quietly. If I couldn't say it to them, maybe I could write it. I picked up the pen. Dear Mom and Dad. I stared at the words for a long time. They looked foreign, like they belonged to someone else's story. Dear Mom and Dad, I whispered again. You taught me what love shouldn't feel like. The pen moved slowly. Thank you for showing me how painful loyalty can be. Thank you for reminding me that silence hurts more than anger. My phone buzzed. Noah, you're up early, he said. I couldn't sleep. Nightmares? Memories, I said. But quieter now, he paused. You sound different. I'm writing a letter I'll never send. Dangerous hobby, he said gently. What's it about? Closure, I said. Or forgiveness. I'm not sure which. Read me a line. I hesitated. You really want to hear it? I wouldn't ask if I didn't. I looked down at the page. Okay. It says, I forgive you for not choosing me because I finally chose myself. He was silent for a moment. That's good, Lena. That's really good. I don't know, I said. It feels strange, because forgiveness feels like weakness until it sets you free. I smiled faintly. You sound like a therapist? I prefer wise friend. Wise friend, I repeated. You've earned the title, he chuckled. What about Ryan? Does he get a paragraph? I sighed. He gets a sentence. Read it. I wrote as I spoke. Thank you, Ryan, for showing me how much I can endure and how much I can outgrow. Noah's voice softened. That's powerful. It's honest, I said. He tried to break me, but he just exposed what was already unshakable. Noah exhaled slowly. So what happens after the letter? I burn it, I said. I don't need them to hear it. I just need to stop carrying it, he said quietly. Then write everything. Don't leave a single scar untold. I won't, I said. When we hung up, I stared at the page again. The rain kept tapping against the glass, steady and rhythmic, like it was keeping time for my thoughts. Mom, you once told me family is forever. Maybe you were right, but not in the way you meant. Family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's the people who help you breathe again after you've drowned. I paused, my chest tightening. Dad, you said emotions make me weak. You were wrong. They made me unstoppable. I built something without your approval, and it's stronger than anything you ever trusted me with. My pen trembled, but I kept going. And Ryan, I used to hate you. I don't anymore. I hope you find whatever it is you were chasing. Maybe then you'll stop destroying everything you touch. I leaned back, staring at the page covered in blue ink and old ghosts. The rain got heavier, and the sound filled the room. I whispered, That's it. That's all I have left. The door knocked softly. Noah stepped in, holding 2 cups of coffee. You didn't answer my texts. Thought you disappeared again. I was busy forgiving people. He smiled. Productive morning, then. More than most, I said. He set the coffee beside me. You going to mail that? No, I said, shaking my head. It's not meant to be read. It's meant to be released. He looked at me for a long time, then nodded. Then let it go. I tore the pages out slowly, folded them once, and held them over the candle burning on my desk. The flame caught, small and golden, the paper curled, blackened, and vanished into ash. I whispered, Goodbye. Noah watched quietly. How does it feel? Like breathing after holding my breath for years. He smiled. Then it worked. I turned toward the window. The rain had stopped. The clouds were breaking open, thin strips of light cutting through. I don't hate them anymore, I said softly. You don't have to, Noah said. You won, I shook my head. No, I just finally stopped fighting, he smiled. That's winning too, and maybe it was. Because as the last bit of smoke faded, I realized the revenge was never about watching them fall. It was about proving I could rise, and I already had. The new office smelled like fresh paint and promise. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed the skyline, the same city that once felt too big for me. Now it felt just right. Noah was standing by the window, sleeves rolled up, grinning. We actually did it, he said. I smiled. We did. He turned toward me. Vanguard Consulting, officially co-founded by Lena Carter and Noah Reyes. Has a nice ring to it. Carter? I said, amused. I thought about dropping that. Don't, he said. You changed what it means, I laughed softly. Maybe I did. He looked around the office, boxes half opened, papers everywhere, sunlight spilling across the floor. Feels strange, doesn't it? What does? Winning, he said. I tilted my head. Is that what this is? He smiled. You tell me. I walked toward the window, my reflection overlapping the skyline. It feels like breathing, like I stopped drowning without realizing it. Good, he said. You deserve that. We stood in silence for a moment before the door opened. Maya peeked in, holding 2 cups of coffee. I brought peace offerings, I grinned. You didn't have to. Yes, I did, she said, handing me one. Your new employees are terrified of you. You needed a PR boost, I laughed. I'll work on that, Noah smirked. No promises, she rolled her eyes. There's also a reporter waiting downstairs. Something about an interview? I sighed. Of course there is. Want me to cancel? She asked. No, I said. I'll handle it. When she left, Noah raised an eyebrow. You sure you're ready for that circus again? I'm not afraid of questions anymore. He grinned. That's new. It's growth, I said. Painfully earned. We rode the elevator down together. In the lobby, the reporter was already waiting. Bright smile, camera ready. Ms. Carter! Congratulations on Vanguard's launch. Can we get a few words? Sure, I said, smiling politely. She flipped open her notebook. Many are calling this poetic justice, the former Carter Corp executive who outshined her family. What do you think? I met her gaze. I think some stories end when you walk away, she blinked. That's all? That's enough, I said. Her expression softened. Do you ever miss them? I paused. I miss who I thought they were. But missing someone and needing them aren't the same thing, she nodded slowly. And what about Ryan? I hope he finds peace, I said. We all deserve that even after failure. The reporter smiled. You sound at peace yourself. I am, I said. Finally. When she left, Noah looked at me, impressed. You handled that like a pro. I learned from the best, I said. Who, me? I smirked. No, karma. He laughed, shaking his head. Remind me never to get on your bad side. You already are, I teased. You're my business partner. We walked back upstairs. The sun was setting, casting gold light across the office. Noah leaned against the desk, watching me. You really don't feel angry anymore? No, I said. I feel free, he nodded. That's rare. Most people chase revenge forever. I chase peace instead. Turns out it runs faster, he grinned. You should trademark that, I chuckled. Maybe I will. For a moment, the air was quiet, filled only with the hum of the city outside. Noah broke the silence. So, co-founder, what's next for us? I looked around at the half-unpacked office, the space that would hold new beginnings. We build something honest. Something that doesn't need bloodlines to survive. He smiled. You make it sound easy. It won't be, I said. But I've done hard things before. He raised his coffee cup. To doing them again. I clinked mine against his. To doing them better. We stood there, watching the skyline fade into night. For the first time in years, I wasn't defined by loss or anger. I wasn't chasing approval or payback. I was simply here, standing in a future I built with my own hands. Noah said quietly, you could have destroyed them completely. I didn't need to, I said. They did that themselves, he nodded. Still must feel satisfying, I smiled. It feels right. The city lights flickered to life below us, reflections dancing across the glass. I whispered. I used to dream of being their pride. Now I'm my own, Noah smiled. And that's the best kind of success. Exactly, I said. Because this time I didn't win for them. I won for me. And as the night settled over the city, I finally understood. The real victory wasn't revenge. It was choosing myself and never looking back.